All right, guys, I legit dread doing state of the collection videos. That's why you don't see them done very often by me. But I do want to document where I'm at and share with you guys for, I guess, January of 2022. And I do have some goals for this year, and we'll talk about that as we go. But let's just dig right into this. You guys can look up numbers if you want. I actually wrote down numbers like price, like cost, and what they sell for used and everything like that. But I decided that I'm not going to actually share that with you. I think most of you guys are smart enough to figure that out on your own. Let's just dig in. So first up, obviously, the Seiko Orange Monster. This is the SRP 309, probably from like 2014 to 2015. This was a gift from my wife in 2015, and I've been wearing it on and off. I mean, I wore it obviously a lot early on. As you can see, there's plenty of wear on this thing, but this thing is never going anywhere. This is a keeper for life sort of thing, and I know that's a challenge for a lot of people that are like me that are habitual flippers to say that, but guys, I've owned this since essentially 2014, 2015, and it hasn't went anywhere, and I still wear it. So that's a long time. That's the longest watch I've owned. Next up is the Seiko SKX 009. This is the blue dial with the blue and red bezel. In case you didn't know, there's a counter. There's another one that's very similar, the 007. That's all black. That one's really cool too. But I decided the 009 was my favorite. Plus, this one was actually a gift from my buddy Michael from Desire 68 YouTube channel, and I think it's pretty important to me, at least, and I think to a lot of people that are dive watch fans, to have an SKX in the collection. They're so versatile, they're so comfortable, they're just iconic, and I have a ton of different bracelets for it, and I do change those out occasionally. Right now it's riding on a Militat Jubilee style. I don't know what they call them, Super J's or something like that now. All right. I'm not sure how long I've had that one. A couple of years now, I think, for sure. So next up, this is a fairly recent purchase. Quite a few of these are actually recent, but this one is the SPB207. This is a limited edition, 6,000 of them, if you can call that a limited edition, and like a British racing green dial, which actually is fashioned after the forest in the a certain Japan region. So it's a part of the 140th anniversary from Seiko. But once I got the bracelet dialed in where the clasp sits on the underside of my wrist, I absolutely fell in love with this watch. And it comes with a green silicone strap, which I'm a bracelet guy. It's going to live on bracelet. Even though I do have quite a few watches here on straps, I've evolved over time. And, I like, vulcanized rubber, FKM rubber, and some leather straps, but primarily bracelets. All right, next up is still on the Seiko. We can look at the Seiko SARB or SARB 059. This is an alpinist. So yeah, I actually have an alpinist in the collection. There's the case back. It clearly says alpinist, and this is an authentic watch. This is a dark green dial, and I picked this one up used. I did just look on eBay, and there's like 5 or 6 of them on there right now for over $1,000 each. So somebody's unloading their collection or something. But back in the day, you could get these things for a pretty reasonable price. Now they're, slowly climbing as they're more difficult to find. They weren't limited edition. They were just only made for a couple of years. And now they're gone. They've been discontinued for quite a while. I have a bunch of new parts, so I will be sending this one out to get an OEM refresh. The movement is still good. I'm not going to have that messed with, but new bezel, new stem and crown, new gaskets, and a new Hardlex crystal. The Hardlex crystal used on the SARB 059 is different than the SKX, even though the case is similar. But the case is not exactly the same. I did learn now that I own both of them, but it is very similar. And I have it on a Clockwork Republic rubber strap with the fitted end links. I think that's a perfect pairing for the alpinist. I decided not to get the bracelet because you could get this. Well, this one came on a metal bracelet, but I decided not to source that, even though it would be kind of nice to have it as a full kit for later on down the road if I decided to sell it or something. But this is a perfect pairing, so this is where it lives. But that one will be getting sent out pretty soon to get a full refresh. Another one on rubber strap that pretty much lives on a Strap Mill Canada vulcanized rubber strap is my Citizen Hyper Aqualand. And I've had this one for a couple years now. You can still get pretty good deals on these, but they're in varying conditions. These were primarily sold to people on vacation, and then they wanted to go do like a scuba class or something like that, and then they would pick this watch up for their scuba vacation dive and stuff like that. And then, you know, then they sat, people didn't wear them or whatever, so that's why you'll see a lot of used ones up for sale. They're awesome watches. I still love wearing this one, and I do have some memories tied to it as well. So you can get these actually pretty reasonable still. But if it needs work or something like that, being that it's a digital module or something like that, that could end the lifespan of it. Speaking of digital watches, I don't have a bunch of GShock Squares. I might shock some people. And yes, this white speckles is paint. I wore this painting my father-in-law and mother-in-law's ceiling in their garage, and I decided I kind of liked the way it looked, so I didn't clean it. These will clean off. It's not a big deal, but I said screw it, and I just left it on there. Now, I do have a combi bracelet on this one. This is not a factory. Well, it's a factory Casio bracelet, but it's not a factory to this watch. You would have to get the negative display one to get the combi. So I sourced the parts and put it on this one. This is like my go-to work watch sort of thing. So I keep it around, and it's still just a champ overall. So still great watches, and there are updates to those, so you can get a newer model. That's the older one. I like it. And then the only other GShock Square I have in the collection right now is the GMWB5000 GD9, and aka the blingmaster. I still really enjoy this watch, and you can get some used deals on these, and they're getting harder to find. So I don't know what's going to happen with these, if Casio GShock is going to stop making the blingmaster or what. Hopefully you guys have tried it. I know a lot of people, including myself at one point, were like, there's no way I can pull off the gold. But as soon as you try it on, even if you think you can't pull off gold, this one is awesome, and I love it. So, and that one's, so we're only talking, these are the watches that are currently in my collection, but will probably remain in my collection for a long time. So next up, this is another one that might shock people. Listen, I'm a Shinola fan. First off, I think they just make a great product. Their argument would be is the price point, and I get it. A lot of people are like, they're just too expensive, and I agree to a certain extent. But there are deals out there. I already got this one scratched up. I don't even know how I did that. Oh well. So this is the Station Agent, and it is a 45 millimeter, and it's an automatic using a Solita movement. I forget the model or the movement number, but it has the small seconds down at 6. You have your date there, not interrupting the 3, so I'm fine with that. It would have been cool with a no date as well, but regardless, the Shinola leather straps are spectacular. They're like, you could go and pick up the Shinola leather straps for some other watches, and you would be very happy with their leather straps. They are pricey, just like their other products, but they are of high quality. So, very cool, fun watch. And a nice presentation, that the box that comes in. Next up, and that one is a fairly recent purchase, as is my Longine Titanium Big Eye. I went with the titanium. I'm a huge fan of titanium watches. Typically, you're not going to see me run around looking for chronographs or blue dials, let alone a blue dial chronograph, so I know this one was a shock when people found out I bought this. But Nick at Exquisite was great to deal with. Every time I bought a watch from him, it was a great pleasure to work with him. I can highly recommend Nick at Exquisite Timepieces down in Naples, Florida. Hopefully one day I'll get down there to visit him. But this one shocked me. Forget about shocking you guys. I fell in love with this watch like head over heels. This is probably one of my most worn watches as of the last, since I've got it. Well, and I know that can be honeymoon, but guys, I've picked up some pretty sweet watches recently, and this one is making it hard for other ones to land on my wrist. That's how much I like this watch. So check out the Longine Big Eye, whether it's the titanium one or the stainless steel one. If you ever get a chance, you might be surprised at how much you like it. Speaking of titanium, another extremely recent purchase, actually the last purchase that I made, is the Tudor Pelagos Blue dial. The newer one, obviously, with the thicker case and the in-house movement and a lot of writing on the dial and everything. But I went with the blue. I was torn whether to go with the left-hand drive or the black or the blue, but I got some buddies that have the blue, and every time I run into them and they're wearing it, it's just so visually striking. And I was just like Pelly jelly, right? I was Pelagos jealous, and I was like, I ran across a decent deal used from my buddy Mimo at Mimo's Jewelry out in California. And I said, you know what, screw it, I'm going to buy it. So here it is. And again, I love wearing this thing. It's such a great watch. I'm happy to have it. So next up, let's get into a Breitling. Now, this one I've actually bought twice. I bought new from Richard at Saltzman's a little over a year ago, and then I had it for months, and then I ended up selling it to do some other things, which we'll talk about the next watch on that. But I missed this one. This was like one of the only watches that I regretted selling. So, and people ask me that all the time, and I can almost always say zero regret. This one I regretted selling. I talked to the owner. Thankfully, Joe was cool enough to sell it back to me. So I actually bought back my original watch. So happy to have that one back in the collection. And I love wearing that one. Actually, I've been wearing that the last couple of days. Next up, this one I picked up last year. Again, great experience with great friends. My buddy Detroit Spartan, and then, you know, Craig and Wilson. We all went to Lucido's in Birmingham and met up with Seba and Joe, the great folks over there at Lucido. And how can you be mad about picking up a no-day sub, guys? This is the 124060, and I'm just blessed to even have it. I mean, the stars aligned, everything fell into place, and I made it happen. So with the help of other people. So awesome pickup. Absolutely love this watch. And I have to force myself not to wear that watch so other watches can get worn. That's how good the Submariner is. All right, guys, that's my primary collection. Now, I have a ton of other watches. I have probably like 30 other watches that I just keep because they're fun and stuff, but I legit don't wear them. If you want to see those, I can show you those, but like I never, like legit never wear them. So these are the ones I wear. These are the watches that I have in my collection. Now, I do have two others that I want to show you that I happen to have here for other reasons, but I'm really thinking about picking them up, and I just want to share those with you. Even though they're not currently my state of the collection, I think they're going to be soon. So first up is the Rolex Air King, the what is this one, the 116900 or something like that. So you know, a good friend of the channel is letting me check this out. This is a new pickup for him, and my name has been on the list for one of these with Lucido. So I'm hoping to get the call from them soon, and when they call, I'm gonna drive my butt down there and go get it. So an Air King is gonna be in the collection really soon, I hope. So that's gonna happen. And then the other one, this one might be a surprise, and I'm still torn, is the Breitling Avenger. Now this one I have in right now because I'm part of the Breitling Select program. This was my last pick, and I'll cover this in a Breitling Select video. But the offer they made for me to buy this one is slightly tempting. So I'm trying to decide right now. This is like the current decision-making process, other than the Air King, which really isn't. When I get the call, I'm going to get it. So like, there isn't going to be a decision there. It's just, you know, make sure the car's got a full tank of gas and let's go. But this guy here, I really enjoy the Avenger, and I can get a pretty good deal on it through the Select program now, which I'll share in another video. So I'm toying with the idea of picking it up. We'll see. All right, let me kill the lights so you guys can see the lume on these, and hopefully you enjoyed the State of the Collection video. I enjoy my collection, and I really don't have any intention to change anything, meaning I don't have any intention of selling anything, and other than the Air King, that's my only definitive watch that I'm going to be picking up. And then I don't know what 2022 is going to be. I'm sure I'm going to be buying a lot of affordables, but that's not really me. That's more random Rob picking them up for the channel to share with you guys, and not really adding them into my collection. Thanks for watching, guys.